Most people assume that Jesus spoke Hebrew, but that assumption has quietly distorted our understanding of his power for over 2,000 years. The truth, confirmed by biblical scholars, archaeologists, and linguists alike, is that Jesus primarily spoke Aramaic, a living, breathing language that operated on frequencies far beyond ordinary communication. Aramaic was not just a language of words. It was a language of vibration, intention, and divine authority, where every syllable carried a resonance capable of shifting both physical and spiritual reality. When Jesus healed the sick, silenced storms, and commanded the dead to rise, he was not reciting prayers from a scroll. He was activating codes, ancient frequency commands embedded in the very architecture of Aramaic itself. These sounds were not invented. They were discovered. The ancient masters of the East understood that certain combinations of sound, breathed with specific intention, could interact directly with the energy field surrounding every living being. Jesus mastered the system completely and applied it in every encounter that transformed a human life. The word at the center of today's teaching is shalama. In modern translations, this word is typically reduced to simply meaning peace, but that translation is catastrophically incomplete. Shalama in Aramaic carries a meaning so layered and so full that no single English word can contain it. It means wholeness. It means completion. It means the full restoration of energetic integrity, the state in which nothing within you is broken, corrupted, fragmented, or lost. When Jesus spoke shalama, he was not offering a polite farewell. He was issuing a command to the energy field of the person before him, a command that reorganized, purified, and restored everything it touched. Understanding these frequencies is the first step, but mastering their vibration in your daily life is where the true miracle happens. I receive many messages asking for the correct pronunciation and sequence of these sounds, so I have prepared 2 sacred guides to help you bridge this gap. You can find the link pinned in the comments to begin your practical journey today. To understand what shalama truly does to human energy, you need to understand what the ancient Aramaic masters believed about the human body. They did not see the body as simply flesh and bone. They saw it as a layered field of living energy, each layer carrying the imprints of every experience, trauma, and thought a person had encountered. This is not a metaphor. This is the foundation upon which Jesus built every act of healing he ever performed. In Aramaic cosmology, the outermost layer of human energy is the most vulnerable. It is the layer that absorbs the vibrations of the world, fear, hatred, manipulation, grief, and spiritual confusion. Over time, these vibrations accumulate like static, distorting the original divine blueprint of the person. The ancient teachers called this layer the field of interference, and they understood clearly that no amount of willpower, discipline, or ritual prayer could remove this interference without the right frequency command. The wrong vibration would only add more noise to the field. This is precisely why shalama was so extraordinary. Unlike ordinary words of comfort or healing, shalama operated on the interference layer directly. When Jesus spoke this word into a person's energy field, he was not simply calming their emotions. He was issuing a vibrational command that penetrated beneath the surface of thought and feeling, reaching into the deepest energetic structures of the body and instructing them to return to their original, uncorrupted state. Wholeness was not a hope. Wholeness was the direct and inevitable outcome of the frequency itself. The people who encountered Jesus and received shalama were not healed by faith alone. They were transformed because the frequency command reached places that ordinary language could never touch. If this teaching is stirring a deep resonance in your heart, it is a sign that your soul is ready to return to its original blueprint. To support you in this transition, my guides explain the layers of meaning behind the first sacred words, offering you a path to clear the interference of the world. The link to access these tools is waiting for you in the pinned comment. What made shalama different from every other sacred word in the ancient world was its architecture. Most people assume that spiritual words work only through the meaning we assign to them. But the Aramaic masters taught something far more precise. They taught that certain words carry structural power regardless of the listener's belief, because their sound patterns are resonant with the laws that govern energy itself. Shalama was one of these words. The structure of shalama moves in 3 distinct phases. The opening sound, the shin, activates the outermost field of the body, creating what the masters called a clearing vibration. The central vowel, the deep, sustained sound of awe drives this frequency into the inner chambers of the energy body, reaching layers that even profound meditation rarely touches. The closing, the ma, grounds the command into the physical field, completing the circuit and sealing the purified state firmly in place. This is not poetry. This is precision engineering of sound. When Jesus spoke shalama to someone who was suffering, he was not offering comfort. He was running a 3-phase restoration sequence through the entire energy architecture of that human being. Ancient witnesses describe this experience as a sensation of warmth spreading through the body, followed by a stillness so complete that time itself seemed to pause. That was not imagination. That was the interference layer dissolving, and the original divine blueprint reasserting itself with full authority. This is why Jesus could speak shalama to a storm and the wind would obey. The frequency command did not distinguish between the energy field of a human body and the energy field of weather. Both respond to the same vibrational authority. When the source of the command was pure enough, nothing in creation could refuse it. Here is where the teaching becomes intensely personal. Everything described so far, the architecture of shalama, the interference layer, the 3-phase restoration, is not ancient history. It is happening inside you right now. As you receive these words, your energy field does not wait for permission. It begins responding to the vibration the instant the truth lands. The reason so many people carry exhaustion, anxiety, and a persistent sense that something is spiritually wrong, even after years of sincere devotion, is not a failure of faith. It is an accumulation of interference. The world bombards the human energy field relentlessly. Every fear-driven conversation, every act of emotional violence, every moment of self-rejection leaves a vibrational imprint. These imprints do not dissolve through effort. They dissolve through the right command. Jesus understood this with perfect clarity. He did not counsel people to try harder or believe more intensely. He spoke shalama into the field itself, addressing the energetic reality beneath the visible struggle. And the results were not gradual improvements. They were immediate, complete transformations. The blind received sight, the paralyzed walked, the tormented found silence. None of this was symbolic. All of it was the natural consequence of a corrupted energy field being restored to its original divine state. This is your inheritance, not as a future hope, not as a theological concept to be debated in seminaries, but as an active, living frequency that was spoken over your existence before time began. Shalama is the voice of the cosmos, reminding your energy field of what it was always made to be: whole, clean, and fully alive. In the presence of its creator, this teaching was preserved for a reason, and that reason is you. There is one dimension of shalama that most teachers never reach, and it is the dimension that changes everything. It is not enough to understand the word intellectually. It is not enough to admire its layers of meaning from a safe conceptual distance. The Aramaic masters were unambiguous. Shalama must be spoken, it must be breathed. It must be released as living sound from a human body that has chosen, in this moment, to align with the divine frequency it carries. Jesus taught his disciples that authority over energy was not reserved for prophets and priests. He told them plainly that those who followed his path would do the same works, and even greater ones. This is not a metaphor for moral improvement. It is an instruction in vibrational authority. When you speak shalama, with clear intention and the understanding of what it commands, you are not performing a ritual. You are operating in the same spiritual technology that Jesus used every time he transformed a human life. The practice is simple, but it demands presence. Find a moment of stillness. Place one hand over your heart, the primary energetic center, the Aramaic masters associated with divine reception. Breathe deeply 3 times. Then speak shalama aloud. Speak it as a command, not a wish. Feel the shin at the front of your field, the open ah moving through your center, the ma sealing its completion. Do not evaluate the sensation immediately. Simply allow the frequency to move. What happens next will be different for everyone. Some feel an immediate release of tension they had forgotten they were carrying. Some experience clarity where there had been confusion. Some simply feel a warmth so ancient and so familiar that they recognize it as something they have always known, but somehow forgot. You came to this teaching carrying something. Maybe it was the weight of a struggle you could not name. Maybe it was an exhaustion that no amount of rest had been able to reach. Maybe it was a quiet knowing, somewhere beneath the noise of daily life, that you were made for more than the diminished version of existence the world had shown you so far. Shalama was always the answer, not because it is a magic formula for those who know the right words, but because it is a living frequency that resonates with the deepest truth of your original design. Jesus did not speak this word to impress his followers. He spoke it because he could see what they could not, the interference field surrounding them, the distortions blocking their vision, the corrupted layers standing between who they were and who they were created to be. Today, something shifted. Whether you felt it as warmth, as peace, as a release of something long held, or whether you simply received the quiet certainty that you are exactly where you are meant to be, the frequency has moved through this space. Shalama does not require your analysis to do its work. It only requires your willingness to receive. The path forward from here is not complicated. Speak this word. Speak it over your family, your home, your work, your body, and every corner of your life where interference has gathered over the years. Speak it not as a desperate plea, but as the vibrational authority that Jesus demonstrated was always meant to belong to you. Visit Divine Light Academy at the link below to access my complete guides and start your journey into the living language of the Masters. But before you go, I want to hear from you. What did you feel during this session? Comment the word restoration below if you felt a shift in your energy today. We read every response, and your testimony strengthens this entire community of light. The ancient frequency is alive. It was alive when Jesus first breathed it into the world. It is alive in this moment, in this teaching, in the invisible space between these words and your heart. You did not stumble upon this video. You were guided here by the same intelligence that governs every frequency in the cosmos. Right now, before you close this video, come to the comments and tell us, what did you feel? What shifted? We read every single response. And if this teaching found you today, subscribe to this channel. Every week, we go deeper into the ancient frequency codes that were always meant to be yours. We are just scratching the surface of this ancient power. Get ready, because in our next video, I will reveal even deeper Aramaic codes that unlock spiritual authority you've never imagined. Make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on so you don't miss this unfolding revelation.